Hi Park 400, Luther here. This video is to tell you how to measure the accuracy of your electrical meter if you believe that your electrical meter is improperly reading your electrical usage. Now, before you do this test, the first thing you should do if you suspect your electrical meter is inaccurate is you should review the past 6 months or years worth electrical bills and readings and see if there's any unusual fluctuations in the reading based on what your usage is. Now, since you only get a quarterly bill, you can call up the caretakers and they can give you each month's reading for 6 months to a year, and you can use that data to analyze. So let's say you've done that, it was okay, but you still suspect your electrical meter may not be accurate. I'm going to show you the steps that you can go through without being an electrician, basically having very little knowledge, and you can test the accuracy of your meter. Now, to do this method, you need 3 things. You need a pencil, paper, and you need an electrical appliance source. And that source needs to use up at least 800 watts of power. Now, I recommend to get an appliance that uses that much electricity, you really need some type of heat source. Now today, we're just going to use a standard space heater. Now, when I turn this on the back, I'm going to look at the UL listing on it, and it's going to tell me what this heater is rated for. And this thing says that it's rated for 1500 watts. Now that's very important, and we need to write that down. It's greater than 800 watts, so I'm good to go. So we'll use this a little bit later. I'll set it aside. Now, step 2 is we've got to turn off all electrical sources to our electrical pedestal. So follow me over here and let's do that. All right, so here's an electrical pedestal. The first thing I want to do is open it up, and I want to unplug any electrical items that are plugged into the meter. And then I want to go up here to the breakers and turn all the breakers into the off position. Once that's done, the little electrical wheel that goes around measuring the electricity should be completely stopped. So observe that wheel for several seconds and ensure that it's completely stopped. Now, with all electricity unplugged and the breakers off, if that wheel is still spinning, then there's a problem with the pedestal. Stop the test right there and inform the caretakers. But I'm looking at this one and the wheel is completely stationary. So we're good to go. So the next step is to take a meter reading. Now, for some people, reading the meters is a bit challenging. We have another video on the electrical page of the website that will take you through how to read the meter. If after watching that you're still unsure, just ask one of the caretakers to come down and either take the meter reading for you or train you how to read the meter. Okay, I'm going to stop the video and we're going to zoom in on this so you can see how I read this meter. All right, so here's the meter, and we're reading. You have to read from right to left. This is 5, 0, 0, 0, 0. So our initial reading is reading from left to right as I write it down, 0, 0, 0, 0, 5. All right, now with the initial reading taken, we need to take our electrical source and plug it into the pedestal. Now, make sure that all your power on your heat source or your appliance is 100% off. Mine is not, so I'm going to turn it off. Okay, everything's off. Now I'm ready to turn the breakers back on. So now I'll turn the breakers back on. I'm going to observe my wheel again. There's no electricity coming in, So that wheel should not be moving. Okay, I'm now going to look at my watch, and I'm going to note the time because this test requires 1 hour to run. We're going to turn on our electrical appliance, make sure it's at max capacity, and we're going to let it run for 1 hour, and then we'll come back. So I've got the time. I'm now going to turn on my electrical appliance, and I got to make sure it's at maximum. So this 1500 watt appliance has the ability to go from 750 watts up to 1500 watts. And I need to make sure it's measuring and it's putting out or using maximum electricity. So I'm going to make sure it's set on the 1500 watt limit. So I turn it on. The lights come on, it says it's at 1500, and I'm looking at the wheel, and sure enough, the wheel is moving. So now, I just let it all be, and I'll come back an hour, and we'll join you back 1 hour from now. Hi, Park 400 again. Well, it's been 1 hour, so it's time to turn off our electrical appliance. So I'll do that now. And we want to turn off all of the breaker switches and unplug the appliance. Now we should observe the wheel again, and it should stop moving. And it has. So now we want to take a second reading. So I'm going to bring the camera in closer so you can see my reading. All right, so now we're going to read the meter, and we start here. And notice that the arrow indicators between the 6 and the 7, so I'm going to call that 6.5. This is a 0. Now the indicator hasn't quite reached 1, so that means a 0, then 0, 0, 0. So our number is going to be 00006.5. All right, so now we're done with the test except for the math. So I'm going to come up here and show you the math. Now, our first reading was 0.00005. Our second reading was 0.006.5. I'm going to subtract the first reading from the second reading, which gives us 0.001.5. Now, the electrical meter measures kilowatts or thousandths of watts. So we have to multiply this by 1,000 to equal watts. So 1.5 times 1,000 equals 1,500 watts. Now remember our appliance, when we started out, we did a watt check on the UL label, and it said that it was 1,500 watts. And we ensured that when we turned on the heater that we had it on at the 1,500 watt level. So our electrical meter measured 1,500 watts. We know our device was 1,500 watts, so this electrical pedestal is accurate. Now accurately, this number can fluctuate 5% less or 5% more, and that's still within the acceptable range. So there's a really easy method to check your electrical meter. If you think your electrical meter is inaccurate, run this check, get the numbers. If it's outside of plus or minus 5%, then tell the caretakers. I hope this helps. Thanks a lot.